What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Season Gaming Bitcast. We got episode 72 today. As you can see, I'm coming at you solo. We still have Dan, the pirate legend Rodriguez, joining us remotely today, along with Bert, south of the border signs, of course. One thing before we get started is I want to just touch on, we've been seeing an uptick in our listeners, so wanted to thank you for that. Appreciate the support, of course. If you do listen to us, whether iTunes, Google, Spotify, what have you, if you could give us a review, give us a like, give us a subscribe, that would be hugely helpful. It just helps with the analytics on those and, gets more people listening, which we appreciate. So, guys, let's go ahead and jump in here. Biggest news, I think, this week would be Cyberpunk is back again. Cyberpunk 2077. We got the deep dive gameplay video from CD Projekt Red. This is the first time that basically the whole world gets to see the gameplay that some of us were fortunate enough to see behind closed doors at E3 the past 2 years. Particularly, this video really focused on what we saw this year, just a couple months ago in June, but also gave some really neat details, about how things are structured. It actually showed a couple details we didn't see at E3. So I'll let you guys kick it off. What are you thinking? You still super pumped for this game? Anything that jumped out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool to see the new additions that obviously me and you, Ain, saw a little bit at E3. So to see what they added to it, it's just cool to see that the more we see this game, the more polished and the more great it looks like it's going to be when it releases. So I hope more people have seen this now. If you've been interested in the game and really not sure if it's like a day one purchase for you, I definitely recommend watching this. I think it's probably a lock for Game of the Year in 2020 already. But
we talking about Halo Infinite or Cyberpunk?
No, man.
No, man. That or The Last of Us 2. Here's the problem with that. I don't know when that's releasing, and so this comes out in, I think, April?
April 16th.
Yeah, okay. So then all of the rest of April, most of May, probably is going to be completely gone. So I'm hoping The Last of Us 2 comes out a month before that, at least a couple weeks. I can probably, just grind it out. But it looks so good. It looks like you're going to be able to play forever. That's what it seemed like, with The Witcher, And added to that, the DLC that The Witcher had, I spent way too much time in that game, if that's the thing. I don't know. It was
it's
so
not
good.
A thing.
It's really not. It was that good. So I'm expecting big things. I mean, I think everybody is really expecting big things. This new footage, I had never seen it before. So it was cool to see. It looks like you're going to have so many different kinds of choices to do all the missions, and which is part of what makes that this new wave of gaming is that freedom of choice, the freedom to experience the game however you want to do that. So it's going to do that, I think, in spades. I'm going to basically, assuming I have a job at that point, probably take time off. If not, I'm good to go. So it's going to be great. Maybe I'll just wait to get a job until after it's done. And that way I don't have to worry about, being fired. So I'm ready.
Yeah.
You can't pick your gender. What?
Oh, my God. Dude, I as soon as I heard that, I canceled my pre-order.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
one more time? You can't pick your gender?
No, it's genderless. You basically make your character from scratch any way you want. So it's actually... Yeah. You get more options to create your character than the traditional RPG.
Oh. Yeah. I must have
But of course...
It's the current public outcry right
now.
Yeah,
it's of course people were outraged against it. One of our listeners, Fonz. Sorry, Dan. I was gonna say one of our listeners, Fonz, did a good YouTube video on that as well, which I retweeted on Twitter. So check that out if you haven't.
I will. It looked like you could pick between, from the character selection screen, but I guess that's just genderless.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I think it kind of defaults to 2, but then you can kind of adjust it as you see fit. So.
Okay.
But anyway, I was going to say, to your point, Dan, about playing forever, I for me, and you guys know how much I love these two games, right? To me, this is my next Witcher 3 and Red Dead 2. It's just, massive, open world, single player, spend hundreds and hundreds of hours just exploring and doing whatever, and I could not be more excited for it. To your point, Dan, I really hope that Last of Us 2 comes out before this. Because Last of Us 2 is one of those games I'll kind of move worlds to play anyway. But if it comes out like a week after Cyberpunk, I'm just going to be mad at that point because that's not even fair.
Yeah. They were not that
So,
done. Certainly.
luckily for me, the only other game I'll probably put more overall time into would be Halo Infinite, but that'll be in the fall with Scarlet. So I've got a nice buffer there. But between
Death
those three
Stranding.
games, good God, Death
Mhm.
and he's walking and walking and walking. All right.
I walk the line.
Another another exciting one, especially for our main man Bird over here. Capcom showing a new Resident Evil is on the way. They're going to show, or unveil it, I should say, on September 9th. It's codenamed Project Resistance, capital R-E, naturally. So we don't really know what this is yet. People are expecting a remake of Resident Evil 3, obviously Resident Evil 8, and then there was a rumor and some screenshots that leaked that made it look like it could even be a recreation of Resident Evil Online. So we're not really sure, but what do you guys think about this? I know, Bert, you're a huge Resident Evil fan. Between you and Trey, probably the biggest ones I know. So, what do you think?
Yeah, Dan, sorry, I'll steal just a little bit of the time on this one, and then you take it up. But I'm really excited if it's a Resident Evil 3 remake. That was a big rumor when Resident Evil 2 remake came out, that they had already started development on 3 using the same engine that 2 had, and it'd be a pretty quick development cycle. So if that's it, that could be it. Then there's exactly what you said, Ains, that it could be some online game where there's a multiplayer type, option for the game that could be played with different characters and kind of custom characters. So if that's the case, that's pretty cool. But right now, it's just a lot of speculation. We don't really know anything from it. I'm really excited to see. Like I said, we did get invited to it, but I'm not going to New York on my own dime and just testing a game for them, or Los Angeles, at least right now. So hopefully we hear a little bit more about it, and we'll see what it is on the 9th. So I'm very looking forward to what this is going to be.
Yeah, our Patreon funds are pretty low right now. I don't think we can afford that trip. So.
I was gonna go. Damn.
Yeah, sorry, Dan. Sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, shit, if you want to go and demo it in front of people, I'll pay for that.
Yeah, there we go.
No. So yeah, I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan. As seen on a old episode of BSG, I can't even do the demo without freaking out. So, yeah, I'm good. Whatever this is, it kind of looked like High School Musical to me, with all the
High School Musical.
but a bunch of guys in like Letterman's jackets and stuff. I thought, like, what the hell is happening here? I don't know what's gonna happen. I hope it's whatever it is that Resident Evil fans hope it is. Also, I'm with you, Resident Evil fans. I'll be there for you to support you from afar, because I will never play this game because I'm a giant wuss. So.
There you go. There you have it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it is. Personally, I'm hoping for Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 3 was not one of my favorite Resident Evils. If they're going to do another remake, I think we've talked about it before, but I would rather see Code Veronica. I really want to see that redone. I just think that would be incredible. So if you're not going to do Code Veronica, do Resident Evil 8, because I loved Resident Evil 7. So just going to be interesting to see if they go back to third person. I personally really liked the first person in RE7, but we'll see. So. All right, Telltale Games. So we talked at length, when Telltale Games kind of broke apart and shut down earlier this year. And in a small way, they are back, but not kind of in the way people were expecting. So sites kind of ran with this. They started announcing that Telltale Games is back, and everyone's like, yay, Wolf Among Us 2 and all these other things are going to be back. And it's not really what's happening here. So, Bert, I know you kind of put something up on the site with a few details, kind of just showing that this is a new company, the office is moved, and the people they've hired so far are really just some contractors. None of the old Telltale staff has been hired back, nor do they have all the licenses that they previously had. So this is exciting in a way, but not the way that I think people were kind of going crazy for when they first heard it.
Yep. So kind of exactly what Ames said, he kind of outlined it right there. So if you're a Telltale Games fan, which I think all of us are, we've played most of the games, almost all their licenses don't exist anymore. I go through each one of them. The Game of Thrones one's gone, Marvel's gone. The only ones that really remain are anything that was owned by Warner Brothers. And so if you have played the Batman games that Telltale did, and Wolf Among Us, which is actually one of our favorites here, It's good news for those franchises. But there has been no confirmation of anything that is currently in development. The Walking Dead, which I guess would be their biggest moneymaker throughout the number of episodes and seasons that they did with that game, is currently with Skybound, who actually bought that and finished up, I guess, Clementine's story, if you were trying to get through that. So they don't have that. And as Ain said, they've only hired on some new folks that are on temp to perm positions, so you're going to be there. And none of the creative team that used to be there before is there at all right now. They have stayed in the San Francisco area where the original Telltale Games was. And with that being said, the new office is in Malibu. So if you know anything about California, that's really far from each other. And those families and folks would have to relocate all the way to the Malibu area if they were to get those positions, and they have not been offered those positions yet. So a lot of interesting things happen here with Telltale. We'll see what that really means for any future games. There is also, I believe the company was called Athlon, is going to be doing all their publishing and marketing. So you won't see Telltale Games on the publishing side. You'll be seeing Athlon doing that for them. So still very early to see what's happening, but this company, LCG, I think it was it? Yeah, LCG Entertainment is the folks that have purchased the assets of Telltale. So just hang tight if you're a fan of these of this company and these franchises. It's probably going to be a while before we see a new game from them in any form.
Why not? I want to see it today. I want it tomorrow. Where's Wolf Among Us 2? No,
I really want Wolf Among Us 2.
I think we all do. Let's just be fair. And who doesn't want a new Game of Thrones Telltale game? Everybody. So I'm excited, like I said to Bert, about the possibility of things. That's basically where it's at. So there's really not a whole lot to add. I love the Telltale games. I've played, I think, most of them to some extent. I still have to finish The Last Walking Dead. I've got, I think, 2 seasons in, or 2 episodes in. I almost don't want to finish it. It's one of those things where it's like, it's going to be all over. But this is hopefully good news. I mean, I just don't know, man. I don't think any of us really know. So, cross your fingers. Maybe we'll get a Wolf Among Us 2 in a couple years, and everybody will celebrate and say, "Hey, yay, Wolf Among Us 2!"
Just like that. Just like
that. That's going to be their extent of their excitement. Yes.
Yeah, one more thing on that point too, Dan, is Wolf Among Us was in development before Telltale kind of fell apart. So that is more than likely the game that we're going to get out of them first, because they'll just continue that development. But we don't know. Like I said, that's just the assumption right now.
Yeah, and to your point about Malibu and San Francisco, unless you're going to share a room with 6 other people, you're not living in Malibu or San Francisco on a contractor's pay. You're just not.
No, not at all.
So I don't know what they're doing there, but anyway. All right, so a couple small things I wanted to touch on real quick is we saw a leaked release schedule from, I don't know if it was GameStop or one of the other major retailers, but in October it actually showed Overwatch coming for the Switch. So no other real information right here. We had it on our site, and it just kind of spread across social media a few days ago, but this is pretty interesting. I mean, Overwatch is really not kind of the premier game in the limelight right now, but it still does have millions of people that play it regularly. It still has a hardcore community and an esports community. So I don't know what that looks like on the Switch, given what we've talked about with Nintendo Online and some of the challenges there. But regardless, I mean, it's just another big name title that seems to be on the way in terms of a port.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Right? I mean, with like you said, like we talked about Nintendo Online and how awesome it is. It just seems like it's really not like a match made in heaven. So I think the coolest thing about this was the case, and the zippers were small little Joy-Cons. That's what I took out of this whole thing. I don't play Overwatch. I don't play any games, apparently, as this week is proving. But hopefully, it'll pick up some more people. Maybe it'll help Nintendo's online a little bit. And, I don't know. It's a weird mix to me. But, I mean, people love Overwatch. People love the Switch. I don't know. But people love, peanut butter and jelly. Look what happened, man. It was great. Putting them together. You never know what's going to happen. Chocolate and peanut butter, dude. I'm just saying, you never know.
We've gone on a tangent here. I think Overwatch and the Switch is like trying to put peanut butter and jelly together, but without bread.
Right. I love peanut butter, and I love steak, though, too. So I wouldn't really put them together. So it can go either way. That's where I'm coming from today.
I don't know how we got the food, but here we are.
Yeah.
It always comes to food when it's with me.
Yeah, fatkiddeals.com. Yeah, for me, it's just going to depend on, what's the performance. Are we potentially going to get some cross-play with the other consoles? The Overwatch community is healthy, but the numbers have fallen quite a bit for other people that are playing other games right now. So it's one of the responses that I saw online that was fairly common was, is it too late for this kind of stuff? Is the Overwatch hype kind of gone? Even though they're continuing to introduce new characters, there's definitely the support going on from the development team here, but I'm sure it's still going to be a $60 game for the Switch. It'll release with probably all the characters that have come out so far because they're free anyways, but it'll be all in one package. So we'll see what it does. I'm more interested to see what the performance is like because I actually enjoyed Overwatch quite a bit, but it's one of those games that got tiring fairly quick as well. So we'll see. I'll give it a try if it's at an affordable price and I have somebody to play with. But other than that, we'll see what happens. It's just another big game for the Switch.
Yeah, and to your point, we played it quite a bit when it was new, but it just, I think, I don't want to speak for you, but I think for both of us, we look for something that has better progression in a multiplayer sense, and there really wasn't a lot there. So I mean, October as well, right? Think of all the games that'll be out. So that's a tough sell. A couple other things here real quick is, so Activision has filed a new patent that someone uncovered. I don't know who originally found this, but for a new guitar controller. And if you look at the patent, I mean, it just screams Guitar Hero. It looks very reminiscent with a few new features, and the description in the patent basically spells out Guitar Hero. So it's been, a few years since we've seen Guitar Hero and Rock Band really be popular. They really died out, but this could be really interesting if they start to make a comeback because, I mean, if you recall, several years ago, they were some of the biggest games on the planet. I mean, there were just tens of millions of people playing them, and then, they just fell off. But no reason they can't make a comeback, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm excited. I love those rhythm-based games. Bring it back, please. Activision and Rock Band, please keep supporting and or bring new stuff. I'm all for it. I was just playing it the other day. It was awesome. I'm a little bit sad right now because I'm not playing it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, Bert, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm excited if this is real or if it means anything for what could potentially be a new game. We still play it here socially and locally with my friends. We still bust out the drums and the guitars and the mic. My biggest issue with the game, and they did have a newer one, was the way they did handle licensing. I wish they had a better way of doing that to transfer the songs from different places, and also being able to import new songs and bring new songs without the whole game costing $1,000 at the end of the day. It's funny because the way we saved money is my buddies would pitch in. Like one buddy would come over, he'd pitch in for a new song pack or 5 songs that he wanted, then I would do it. So, but if one person was doing that, you easily are somewhere at the $300-$400 range just for new songs in the game. And that's what kind of ticked me off. But if they figure that out, the game will sell really, really well, I think.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this before somewhere. But if we could somehow, link like Spotify, Amazon, Google, music accounts, and log in with your account so you had access to the songs, while paying just the developer for the game, I think that would be interesting. But anyway, we'll move on from this topic. So, finally, some footage of some games people are really excited for. So, Dying Light 2 demo was revealed this week. Similar to Cyberpunk, we kind of got to see this behind closed doors at E3. But now some of it is out in the open, and as we told everyone after E3, this is a game you should be excited about because it looks absolutely fantastic. Dying Light 1 was already an excellent game. The support they had for that game, Techland did, was, just extraordinary. And Dying Light 2 seems to be the next evolution of that with a much deeper... the much deeper mechanics, and just a more polished game. So really exciting. I think everyone who's kind of seen this has gotten excited for it, and just another major release in our future.
Yeah, we saw it at E3. We loved what we saw. A lot of people actually called it the game of E3 as far as footage and what's coming. It looks really great. So if you have any interest in Dying Light in general, please watch the demo. I think it might be another game just to add to the calendar for us to pick up. And when you add the multiplayer aspect to it as well, it's only going to get better. But it was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be scary. Yeah.
Not really.
I don't think it's scary.
It looks like, from everything I've seen, it looks different than the first one, which, I played until I couldn't. because again, scary. I don't like running away from stuff a lot. I did that a lot in that game. So, and I tried to only go out during the day, but that never really worked. From everything I've seen, it looks way different to me. It looks like it's more of a, maybe like a little bit of world building.
Yeah, it's like world building. It's more community on community or person on person.
Right.
There's zombies everywhere still, but it's
Right.
a lot deeper kind of thought of how the world is.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. Until I can't. So.
Yeah, well,
There's
we could
that.
play multiplayer, Dan, which is something that's fun to
good.
trek through it together, especially when you're trying to parkour buildings and miss a whole landing that you're supposed to land on. But
That'll be me.
Who would ever do that? That's ridiculous.
I don't know,
Yeah.
some weirdo.
Just don't break any roofs, please.
Yeah, one thing, Dan, to keep in mind that as you noticed is different and as Ains mentioned, is the zombies. I would almost call the zombies more of like a disease that is taking place in the game, not something that you intentionally will go after unless you're trying to get through a certain area. And you're more trying to find out how to survive in this world from a humanity perspective. And that's what they did really well in the first one, and it just expands on it. But graphically, it was awesome, too. So definitely look forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. And then lastly, another game looking fantastic that we've been waiting to see is Gears 5. The footage is out. A lot of the major sites got access to this and are now showing some of the footage. The embargo is up. So interestingly enough, they have evolved the Gears formula here. We've been hearing for years that Gears was a little linear and that they needed to evolve it in a way, and apparently they have done that in spades. So it has open world elements, kind of like a hub system, has things like side quests and even some RPG-like elements, while still maintaining the combat and the intensity and kind of, I guess, the violence that you've come to expect from Gears. So there was a lot of chatter about this the last couple days as we record this, and I mean, it was near all positive. In fact, I saw several articles saying that this should be or will be in the Game of the Year conversation, as well as this is the major AAA blockbuster that Microsoft needs on the Xbox One. So I know we've been talking about it at length. I know some other people, some other outlets have been kind of cautious to say Gears 5 is going to be great. We said it was going to be great, so here we are. We told you.
No, so we finally see some campaign footage. It looks amazing. A lot of people talking about how great it looks and how great it's going to play. I think Digital Foundry did some stuff on ray tracing and potentially some graphic stuff that just is mind-blowing on the game as well. So I can't wait to play it. I think we're, a week out from playing it if you're on Game Pass Ultimate. So I'm super excited. I'm also great to see that the story is going to be done slightly different than it's been done in the past. So can't wait.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna play some single player. I'm hoping to try out some multiplayer with you guys. It's available right now to preload off of Game Pass. I've already done that. So yeah, this is gonna be awesome, man. I know. I'm very interested to see how this is gonna roll out because it seems like from every outlet that I've read that just positive things. I haven't seen a single negative thing on it. So, good news, man. It's about time. Let's bring it on and,
Hey, you already said that once. Off. You only get one.
No, I didn't.
I'll make an exception for Gears 5, though.
Okay, thanks. Thanks. Yeah.
All right, so...
Damn it.
Yes, you did. That's two. So just keep that in mind. So let's talk about a bunch of new releases that released and what we're playing, because I think we're playing damn near all of them when you look at the three of us. So just in the past week and a half, we've had Control getting great reviews, Wreckfest, Blair Witch, Astral Chain, Man of Medan, and the new season of PUBG and Big Console update. So I know, guys, between us, like I said, I think we're playing every one of these. So why don't we start talking about them? Who wants to kick us off here?
Go ahead, Dan. You get the most. Or maybe not, actually.
Yeah. Do I? All right. Anyway, I'm play Control, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then I obviously Sea of Thieves. I don't even usually include it anymore just because it's on my playlist.
It's just a daily go-to at this point.
Yeah. At this point, yeah. I definitely have some more stories and It's, like I don't even know why I do it to myself sometimes, but it's fun. So then an Astral Chain, I actually was playing that right before we started. It's super fun. It's very Bayonetta-y, I guess. So it's by Platinum Games. I was. This is one of my most looked forward to titles in for the Switch, and it's not disappointing so far. I'm not super far in. Combat is fun. They've done a lot of different things that I've actually never seen before in video games. Like just the play style and stuff, and it's a very, very unique game. And it's actually graphically pretty good for a Switch title, so I can't really complain too much. But it's been really fun. I'm hoping to have that review up next week for that one. But short of that, it's just been Sea of Thieves, which is a lot of Sea of Thieves, actually. So,
wow. A lot of stuff there, Dan. I actually finished Devil May Cry 5 finally. The first playthrough and the way you play it through. If you are any fan of Devil May Cry in any sense, this is a must play. It's awesome. There's so many things you can do with it. The story is great. The graphics are great. The gameplay is great. And then there's a lot of replayability at the end because you get through certain levels of the specific character and then you got to go do it with a different character and experience it slightly different. So that's really cool. I really enjoyed my time with that one. I've also started playing Blair Witch. I'm about the 2 to 2.5 hour mark in it. Very slow starting for me, but I'm enjoying it a lot more now. So hope to get through that this weekend. I know it's not that long of a game, so with the holiday weekend being there, I hope to play more of it. And I think between Ains and us, one of us will be giving a review on that one. So if you're interested in Blair Witch at all, give it a try. It's pretty good. You just have to play it the way it's meant to be played.
Yeah, in fact, we were talking prior. So Blair Witch has kind of engrossed me. That's all I've been wanting to play, and it's a really good story once you get into it. As Bert said, give it about the first hour, and the game engine. It's not a big budget AAA game, so if you've played any of the other Bloober titles like Layers of Fear or Observer, you'll notice some frame rate hiccups here and there. But once you get through that, it's actually got some very artistic nature to it, especially once you start having the flashbacks, which I won't ruin for anyone. But I am loving it. It's nice and scary and creepy, and it's a proper mind F. So enjoying the hell out of that. I did start playing Wreckfest as well, which is just hilarious. I haven't played it enough to really give a solid opinion on it, but like the Destruction and the Destruction Derby is just a ball. So, and I actually played an online Destruction Derby in a lobby yesterday and had some fun with that. So we'll be talking more about that one in the future. Man of Medan. So I started that last night as well. I said before I'm going to play that with my wife, and we did. I think we got through the first 2 kind of chapters, very similar to Until Dawn, where you kind of have like the guy who hosts, and you talk to him a bit, and then you go off and you play the main story, and then you go back to him, and he just kind of tracks what you're doing. I will say, compare Until Dawn was already cheesy. This is definitely cheesy. Some of the acting and writing is just like, oh boy, this is corny as hell. But for the most part, it's pretty similar right now. So we're enjoying it. We actually played that for like an hour and a half, 2 hours last night. So, and then season 4 of Pub. So I'm sure we'll be on that later tonight as we record this. It's fun. I think just continues to improve. We talk about this constantly, and the changes to Erangel are welcome. So I think it's all good stuff, man. Just a lot to play, and this is before Gears 5 and Borderlands are officially out. So kind of crazy when you think about it. All right, so we're going to quickly have a review discussion here, and just want to let Dan has finished Control. His review is up on the site, and he gave it a sensational, which is a 9 on our scale. So, Dan, I know you really enjoyed this game. It seems to be getting really solid reviews across the board, and some fans of Remedy here as well in their prior properties between Alan Wake, Quantum Break, and Max Payne and the like. So, let's give us the quick, 2-minute spiel on Control as a whole.
So here's the thing. I played all the way through Quantum Break. I didn't play a whole lot of Alan Wake, which kind of, now playing through this game, I really, really want to go back to and completely finish it up. I just hope it's aged okay. So it's from Remedy, and it's very, very similar as far as storyline goes to that kind of world, where it's a little more, occult and sci-fi maybe at the same time. Here's the thing about Control that I like the best. A lot of times you play these single player games and you progress in the story, you progress your character, and they become, incrementally more powerful as you go on, to the point where you're just destroying stuff. And that's fun. That's super fun. And I love that kind of stuff. There's no difficulty setting, which I was super worried about when I started playing. But what this game really, really does well is balance everything to where the entire experience just kind of fits into this nice little, game bowl, I guess. That's what I'm looking for. Or, for lack of a better term, which I'm sure there are thousands. It's so... you become this badass person, as you progress through the story with your powers, different kinds of guns, different upgrades. But the game constantly checks you every single time. You think you're about to, oh, this is going to be no problem. The enemies will level up just enough to where they, are a little bit difficult, but you're still progressing. I died a lot, several times, but I never once said, I'm done. I can't finish this game because the whole story had just captivated me. So it's very, very unique in that, to me, because a lot of times, I play on easy mode, guys. So, there's no shame. I'm not throwing this out there to, shock people. Just because I want to experience the story. This one didn't let me do that, but I'm glad it didn't. It's so, so good. The story is fantastic. Mechanically, I can't really think of a whole lot of games that, are just perfectly balanced again there. Just it feels like the controller, every button's got a purpose. Everything that you do is purposeful and meaningful. It's such a good game. I think the story is just kind of the icing on the cake. It can get a little confusing. There are some technical hiccups even on the X. Every time I unpause the game, it stuttered for a few seconds. I lost audio here and there. There could be a little bit more variety in the enemies, but these, like I said in the review, are very minor gripes compared to the whole overall experience. So I would definitely recommend picking it up. I know there's a lot coming out, and time is of the essence. So if you are going to pick it up now. You can probably finish it in about 15, 20, 25 hours, depending on how much you want to do as far as main story and side content, though. It's fantastic. No problem, man.
Yeah, it's a solid review, Dan, and I don't really have many questions either. I'm similar to Bert. I'm not as big of a fan, but I loved Alan Wake. I played quite a bit of Quantum Break. I never finished it. But yeah, they're unique games. They just develop unique games. The one thing I did hear, Dan, you may want to comment on, is that the story is kind of all over the place, but it comes together later in the game, and it actually does make sense by the time you finish it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's true. There are some times where you're kind of like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? A very, very important part of the game also is like the files and the audio logs and stuff. I normally just kind of gloss over them, but in reality, this game will tie up a lot of those loose ends with those audio logs, with those files that you can find. Just even notes hanging around. You can be able, I went back and read them about halfway through. I was like, I gotta kind of catch up because I'm a little bit lost on what's going on. And they did help kind of make the story a little bit more cohesive. But yeah, at the very end, you kind of start understanding what's going on. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to stop there. But it's trust me when I say it's a very, very good game.
Nice.
Or don't trust me. And,
don't pass over collectibles, Dan. Always get the collectibles. Gotta do it.
I don't know if I got them all, but I did get at least 120 of them. So
600? Is that what you said?
120. I think there's 100.
God. I thought you said 600.
They're 150 to 180 or something like that. I don't know exactly how many, but I got an achievement for 120.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. So
yeah. Cool.
Oh wait, and also Kojima is in it at some point. Small spoiler.
That's actually primarily why I haven't picked it up yet. So
that's exactly it. Yeah. I didn't either until I actually read it somewhere.
Is Keeley in it?
No, he is not. So, thank God.
All right, so let's move on to Name That Game. This week, Bert is hosting, and hopefully it is not the trilogy of Meteos. We get something decent. What do you got for us?
No, I do think you guys are going to get this one. It is considered a top 100 game of all time, so I think both of you guys...
Here we go.
Yeah, here it is.
Every week.
All the time.
All right.
Bring it on, man. That's 3
So
times.
we're going to start with, I think we'll start with Ain since he hosted. And let me start off with the first question. So here we go. This is a reboot. Came out in 2003 on the GameCube, Xbox, PlayStation 2, Windows, and the Game Boy Advance. So
A lot
I'm
of,
gonna go ahead
there's a lot
and-
of places.
I'm going to go ahead and
Yeah.
pause so Dan can ask you to say the question again.
Yeah. Please. Please repeat that whole thing. Was it a reboot of a reboot? Or was it a
Nah,
rebooted franchise? Or was it a
the actual
remake
game,
of an actual
yeah.
game?
the actual game is a reboot. The one that released in 2003.
I'm going to
still
go
lost.
with Rampage.
It is not Rampage, sir. Good guess. It's been rebooted a few times. Dan, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Man of Medan.
The one that
it?
just released is a reboot
Yes.
of a reboot. No, it
Yes.
is not.
No, I thought maybe
It
that
is
was
not.
rebooted twice.
No, it is
Damn
not
it.
Man of Medan.
Yeah,
Okay.
I tried.
Second clue here, Dan. The question's sticking with you.
Yes.
Was originally developed and produced by a company called Broderbund. The game that we're actually talking about for the guess was developed and published by Ubisoft.
I've never heard of Rotorbund.
Got it.
Rotorbuns. Motorbuns.
Now,
Motorboat.
come on, Dan. You do
I
know
love
you do
Ubi.
know the Ubisoft games quite a bit, so I'll help you out here.
All
You
right.
only get one more guess, Dan. Make it count.
I will take a yes or no
That's
question
pretty.
if you need that.
That's pretty confident. Almost like you could see into the future.
I got this. I got this.
Right.
He might be birding it too. You just never know.
I never know. I'm gonna go with. I have no idea the game. Reboot.
Could
So a
be
hard
a game.
pass.
Could
Could
be
be
a
a hard
game.
pass.
It could be a game.
All right.
Yeah. Pass.
It is Prince of Persia.
Yes,
Sands
sir.
of
You got
Time.
it.
Woo!
Sands of Time. So yeah, good guess.
Unbelievable.
Question
Great
number
game.
2. That's 2 times I've gotten it on question 2. The other, if you recall, Bert, was one of yours, Puppeteer.
Puppeteer, great
Way
game.
back when we first started this, I got it on question 2.
Great game. So other clues that were coming up that we never got to. Original game engine was designed for Beyond Good and Evil, one of my favorite games. The main protagonist was never named. All you knew that, I guess, as you played through, he was a prince, but there was not, Prince whatever. The main animations were inspired by The Matrix and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which is a big game back then.
That's a weird mix.
Yeah, or his movements, the animations. The sales were initially pretty slow, but reviews caught on. The game caught on. People ended up liking it. It was green-lighted for a sequel. The main antagonist was rumored to be based on Jafar from Aladdin. And one of the main mechanics, which I think would have given this away if you guys hadn't got it yet, was you were able to rewind time with the Sands of Time. So
Oh.
So why are we
Yeah.
not talking about the movie adaptation here?
Jake
that could have
Gyllenhaal,
been
wasn't it?
That could have been mentioned.
Jakey Gyllenhaal.
Jakey.
Jakey Gyllenhaal,
Jakey.
and he's actually the main guy in the Division movie that's being made.
Yeah. Jake
Yeah, it makes
Gyllenhaal's
me
all
sad.
over the place these days. Funny enough, he's a great actor. So
He is, too.
Yeah.
It's just video game movies, as we talked last week. They
What?
can't help but fuck them up.
Yeah.
Are we
it's
not
true.
talking about the same guy here? Like Jake Gyllenhaal.
There's only
Don't
one
start,
Jake
Dan.
Gyllenhaal.
Don't start, Dan.
Really?
Which
Sister's
Jake Gyllenhaal
much
are you
better.
talking about?
You know who's my
Good
favorite
actor?
actor, Dan?
I don't know.
Sean
Yeah.
Ashmore.
No, he's terrible too.
Triple
so is
A.
Tom Hardy. Don't get me
Actually,
started.
he's
What's
quadruple
wrong
A.
with Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy,
Hardy's
dude.
tell you something
See,
about Tom Hardy. Don't
you
get
waited
me
all the
started.
way to the end of the episode to get kicked off the show this time.
God damn it.
What the
Tom
heck
Hardy's
is your-
fantastic.
What?
You really don't
Gosh,
like
I mean-
Tom Hardy as an
Tom
actor?
Hardy, he's
I
incredible.
think
What are you
he's
talking
the
about?
one of the worst actors that has
Oh
ever
my God.
graced the screen.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and
Did
mute
you
Dan
watch
at this
Venom?
point, guys, and we're gonna close out.
Wait a
So
minute.
Let's
What
go.
happened here? Oh
I don't know.
God.
I'm lost. All right,
I'm
guys.
with you. I'm with you on Sean Ashmore, but not Tom Hardy. I mean, Tom Hardy's awesome.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Dan, you're muted, so you don't need to speak.
Yeah,
It's already
I
done.
don't even. I
Um,
can't even. I'm off the show. I'm taking myself off the show. What is happening?
All right, let's go ahead and close out, guys. We got a quick name that game this week. We got some new stuff on our YouTube channel. So if you subscribe to our channel and even watch us here on the Bitcast, we appreciate it. Thank you. Bird has been putting up some new videos, controller-related things, and he's got some more stuff coming in the near future as well. So stay tuned. Dan, as we mentioned, been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves, so he's put up an excellent article on the journey to Pirate Legend and how Sea of Thieves has kind of evolved over the past several months and his journey with it. So, be sure to check that out. It's featured on our site right now. And then anything else, guys, before we head out of here?
No, just thanks for watching, everyone. Whether it's on YouTube, wherever you're at, as Ain said, I really appreciate it. So thanks for tuning in.
For real.
Yeah, I'm gonna do an article with about how Tom Hardy sucks.
No,
so
you're muted.
Hopefully that'll be
You're
up on
outta
the
here.
site. No, gosh dang it.
You're out of here. You don't have admin
Actually,
rights,
Dan-
so I mean, it don't
That's
matter.
right, your admin rights have been revoked.
We're gonna have to have a
Dan,
seriously
Dan, weren't you
about
working
our
on
friendship.
on an Anthem Cataclysm update on what you thought about
yeah.
that one or something?
Yeah, I think it's done. I think I just gotta send it. I guess.
It's done, I think. Why don't you go
think I
check on
finished
that,
that.
and we'll see.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's finished.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Cool.
cool. So
Look
look for
forward to
that
reading
in the next couple days as well. Perfect.
Yes.
So, all right, guys. As always, thanks to all of you so much for tuning in. Truly appreciate it, like we said, and we will catch you next week. Till then.